This is the kind of energy, this is the kind of crowd, this is the kind of weather too that we're used to. But there's a little bit something different this time. This time, we're fighting a new fight. Instead of fighting against COVID restrictions, public health measures, new laws, and a whole bunch of social stigma being called anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, now we're fighting a whole new generation of public policy that's going to be all about the environment and all about climate change. And it's going to be the same exact ideas of the COVID restrictions. More power and control for the government, less freedom, less money, and less mobility for you and your family for generations to come. So we're still fighting the same fight, only this time they can't call us anti-anything, and they can't stigmatize us, and they can't tell you that you're going to get fined or go to jail if you don't support a carbon allowance, or if you don't support a 15-minute city, or you don't support a digital ID. So it's more important than ever that we get this message out, and it's so much easier to recruit more people into our circle. Because how many of you watching either wore a mask because you didn't want to, or took a jab because you didn't want to? Many of you. How many of you are now finally ready to say, well, I'm not going to put up with a 15-minute city. I'm not going to go along with a digital ID. I'm not going to let them monitor my so-called carbon footprint so they can give me a personal carbon allowance. It's a lot easier to stand up for yourself now that you already went through that tyranny, and they don't have the same type of leverage on you that they once did. They're going to try to guilt you into submission. They're going to try to make people like me sound crazy. How dare I not want to do my part for the environment and to save the planet? No, I'm going to do my part to save the people of this planet. And I'm going to do that by not complying with any of this bullshit.
That's right, brother. Love it. We might see a special announcement later on, right?
100%. And I think it's going to get a lot better reception than Danny DeSantis is.
Right.
I think it was a little disingenuous for somebody to use a crowd that I believe the majority of people came because they wanted to hear me speak today, and for him to come and just turn it into a political aspiration was a little bit disingenuous on the part of the movement. And
the thing is, we need to get someone in there who's not a politician, and that's you, and that's why we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen.
And that's a good point. That's what I want people to understand. For the majority of the candidates that are vying for mayor, politics is their job. Politics is their career. So for them, becoming mayor is an opportunity for a promotion, for a pay raise. For someone like me that's in the private sector, that likes to travel, that likes to do my own thing, that doesn't want to be on anyone else's schedule or have to worry about other people's responsibility, me running for mayor is a sacrifice, a personal sacrifice, a sacrifice for my family. It's a sacrifice for my very freedom in life. But in my opinion, it's a necessary sacrifice. And the reason I'll say that is because I did vow and I did pledge that I would do anything in my power to stop this agenda. And if I could get into a position as mayor of Toronto, and Toronto, make no mistake, is the crown jewel of the United Nations and World Economic Forum's agenda for all of North America. And I can put a stop to 15-minute cities in Toronto. And I can put a stop to digital ID in Toronto. And I can put a stop to personal carbon allowances in Toronto. What do you think is going to happen in the rest of Canada, especially places like Saskatchewan and Alberta that are already clawing at this to stop it?
It's like sticking a wrench in the tire. It won't be able to go anymore.
That's right. We're going straight for their jugular. Toronto is their jugular in the entire Canadian World Economic Forum agenda. And if I can get there, not only can I stop this agenda, we can change this idea of politics in general, where the people are only participating during the election. I want the people participating with every type of legislation that they try to pass. Imagine, before we implement 15-minute city planning, we put it online and we tell people about it and we host a public forum meeting and then we talk about it in public and we talk about each part of it and the implications for the public, and we be honest, and then we allow the public to give their honest input, and we make decisions based on that, which will actually be in the best interest of all Canadians.
So like a municipal government that works for the people.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And actually listens to the people. And just to prove that I'm not full of shit, how many other candidates or how many other politicians or how many other so-called public servants can you type in the name on Google, Chris Sky's cell number, and my personal number will come up. Not an assistant, not an office, not a voicemail, my personal number, 416-400-9994. And
right.
if you don't like me, those are the people that I want to call. I get people that call me
But
and
I
they
do
tell me to
thank
go
you
fuck
so
myself.
much
They tell me I'm a
for
piece of
listening
shit. And you know what? I'll spend the time and I'll talk to that person. And after 5 minutes talking to me, they might
like to
even
leave
still
you
not like me. People on the far left don't like the way I talk. They don't like the way I look. They don't like a lot about me. But then you know what they also say? I say, but how would you like it if I was in your corner and I was fighting for you? All of a sudden, they like me a whole lot more at that point.
All right, well, we're looking forward to hearing you speak up there and what you have to say, Chris.